Hey Moses, how's it going? This is Courtney, and excuse me, I wanted to put together this quick social media audit for you. I know when we last spoke, you mentioned that you post consistently, but you don't get much visibility with your social media. So I just wanted to show you why that's been happening and what you or we can do to fix that. This video isn't here to overwhelm you or make you feel like you're doing anything wrong. It's just to give you more clarity because we don't know what we don't know, right? Once you see these things, everything will become a lot more clearer to you. And I'm actually going to break this down into a couple of areas that needs to be fixed. And we're going to talk about your brand foundation and your content strategy. Okay, and then okay, that's the third, and then I'll talk about your engagement level as well. I'll sprinkle that in there as well. So let's start with your foundation. So first thing, so your Facebook intro actually sounds pretty good at first glance, right? You've got financial strategist and Section 8 rental investor helping families protect their income, grow tax-free wealth, build a legacy, right? It sounds great, but here's the real issue. It mixes two completely different industries into one identity, right? And I know we talked briefly about this before, so it'll really come back to you about that because it's actually touching on that as well. So right here, you have financial strategist and Section 8 rental investor. Okay, so these are two different business identities. You're going to have two different audiences, you're going to have two different problems, two different types of content, and two different algorithms. And when a bio tries to do the job of both, you'll have a couple of things that'll happen. The algorithm gets confused. Facebook doesn't know whether to push your content to real estate investors, landlords, first-time home buyers, people who need insurance, people planning for retirement, or people interested in financial strategies. And when the algorithm can't categorize your page, it stops pushing your post as much, right? So that's why it's important. That's why it's not the best thing to have two different niches on a page or on a social media. Number two, right? Your audience will get confused. Someone who's following you for Section 8 investing will scroll past your IUL content, and someone who's interested in your retirement strategies, they'll scroll past your rental content. This splits your audience and makes your engagement drop, and Facebook will read that. And then they're going to see it as, okay, your followers aren't interested, and then they are going to reduce your reach. Okay, so it has nothing to do with your efforts or your intelligence. It's just purely a clarity issue. So let me just show you an example of, I'm just going to show you an example of someone who is actually in your field. Okay, Section 8 Karim. So just looking at his bio, it focuses on one thing, right? Section 8 investor, which is a crystal clear niche. And then another person I wanted to bring out to you, this is on your Instagram as well. Notice how you also have two different niches as well on here. So this guy, Tom Cruise, I said Cruz, notice how he's his bio says 800 plus rental houses, Section 8 investing. And this is, again, just one identity, right? This is why their content hits the right audience and why yours is struggling. Their bio makes the algorithm's job very easy. Now, here's a couple of suggestions of what you can do that can, change your intro a bit, just something clean or simple and focused. So say, for instance, if you said something like helping everyday people, guaranteed income through Section 8 rental investing, or guiding new investors to build stable recession-proof income with Section 8 rentals, right? So then you can sprinkle in IUL content only when it naturally connects, right? So say, for instance, for example, Here's how real estate investors protect their cash flow long term, right? So this way you keep your foundation strong while still allowing room to mention IUL without confusing your main niche. Okay. And one thing I want to bring up is that once your rental brand is solid, you can launch a separate IUL page later. And this will be 10 times easier because you'll already know what works, because success leaves clues, right? You know, you want to master one system first and then duplicate it. That will make it a lot more easier for you, okay? So second thing I like to go over is content strategy, right? So you're going to use this post as an example. So your content, we really want to talk about your content because this is where your visibility really drops. Okay, so looking at this first post you made, which is about retirement and IULs. So first off, I just like to say that your writing is actually pretty good. You're clear, direct, and you explain things pretty well. But here's what the issue is. It's again, it's the wrong content for the audience you built on this page. Your audience right now is mostly people who followed you for Section 8 rentals, real estate tips, investing help, guaranteeing income, housing education, right? So then when they suddenly see posts like, in your 40s and 50s, retirement droughts feeling like someday, their brains go, wait, what? I thought he was teaching real estate. Then they scroll past that. Not because it's bad, but because it doesn't match why they followed you. And when Facebook takes a look at that and they see that scroll, and they'll think his content isn't engaging, so then they'll start to push it less. All right? Is that starting to make sense to you? So, but look what happens if you reframe this same post for your rental audience. All right? So just for example, I'm just gonna kind of rewrite this. So you said something like most new Section 8 investors focus on cash flow but forget about protecting the wealth they're building. When you start earning guaranteed income from your properties, the next step is making sure that money grows safely, even during market crashes. Then you can tie it into your IUL as a support strategy, right? So having it as like an add-on, and it's the same message, it's the same value, but it's aligned with the niche. And so this is how you sprinkle your IUL into a rental page without confusing your followers or the algorithm. And again, I don't want you to feel pressured that you have to run 2 pages right now. If anything, I recommend focusing on one thing at a time. You can focusing on your rental 8 and then focusing on your YouTube, or you said, I know you mentioned that your YouTube gets you a lot more traffic, so focusing on your YouTube can be your main home, and once your first brand is solid, you can clone the entire strategy for your IUL later, because guess what? Success leaves clues. So if it worked for that, then why wouldn't it work for the other one, right? So the last thing I like to go over is just kind of reiterating, just going over why your engagement is low, but I'm pretty sure you get the idea of what needs to be fixed, okay? So this is the truth behind your engagement, all right? So because your algorithm can't categorize your content, just because you're teaching real estate one day, then financial planning the next, then motivation, then expressions, then retirement, and this is really confusing the algorithm. And the algorithm is not sure who is this for. So your audience is split. Real estate people does not equal financial planning people. So each post only appeals to half of your followers. So another thing I like to mention is the lack of consistent niche identity. And it's very clear that you're knowledgeable in both fields. Which is pretty awesome, and it's pretty amazing. But unfortunately, the platform can only push one niche strongly. Okay, so the fix is very simple of everything that we go over. So you just want to have one main niche, which is your Section 8 investing, and then just use the IUL as a supporting topic. Okay, when it's mention it when it naturally flows in the post or the conversation, right? Focus on one platform first, because I know that's what you asked me. It is totally okay to focus on one platform at a time, and I highly recommend it because it will cause you to it will cause less burnout, and it will cause less burnout, and it will cause less stress, and it'll be a lot more enjoyable, right? You want to build authority with that and growth consistency, and then duplicate that system for the IUL business later. And we started our businesses to have freedom and not to burn out running 2 marketing strategies at once, right? So this approach keeps it simple and sustainable. And okay, so just want to go back to here. So let's actually take a look at your LinkedIn. So your LinkedIn is also your profile is also not really clear on what you do as well. And this down here is giving 2 different things. So it's just the same thing with all. You fix those up, focus on what I mentioned, and then you'll start to see different results. Okay. So these are the few biggest things holding your social media back. And honestly, the good news is that these are all fixable, without adding any more work to your plate. And it just needs to get focused on one thing, right? Your content is good, your message is so strong, and we just need to tighten the niche so that the platform knows who to send your content to. Once your rental brand grows, we or you can create a clean second presence for your IUL brand, and that'll be a lot more easier because you already have a working system. I am here to help you grow or whatever you need me without having to burn yourself out or feeling like you're being pulled in 2 different directions. If you want to learn more or want help with a strategy, I can help map out a clear content plan and a new bio layout, whichever you need me for. Regardless of what you decide to do, I really hope this was helpful for you, and I wish you the best. My phone number, I'm not sure, I think you have my phone number, but my phone number is 218-517-5513. I look forward to hearing from you, and have a great weekend. Bye.